Welcome Exile, Cassius Clay here, back yet again with another build guide video. This time it's a Tectonic Slam Juggernaut character based around the Oni-Goroshi weapon. The build is a good combination of both map clearing and boss killing, and while I'm far from top-notch gear, I still run through the high tier maps with relative ease. It's a good Uberlab farmer, and it's the most fun league starter I've had in quite a while. And the items used for this build are the Oni-Goroshi weapon. Oni-Goroshi is not only a great way to get a 6 link, but also a very high physical damage weapon. While her embrace is up, which is more or less every time you're in battle, your damage goes through the roof. The life regeneration you get from the tree, as well as the Juggernaut Ascendancy, together with your life leech, is more than enough to combat the downside of this weapon. For gloves, I use rare gloves with life and resist, whether you want attack speed and physical damage on there, or even an Oscar if you can manage with the resistance. For belt, I use Belt of the Deceiver for the physical damage and the reduced damage from critical strikes, as well as intimidation. Intimidation is an added 10% bonus to your overall damage. And for boots, I use Gang's Momentum for the fire res, the chance to ignite, and increase damage against ignited enemies. These boots work very well together with her embrace. For helm, I use a Staconia's head for the attack speed, the critical chance, and the life. For chest, I use a rare chest with life and resist, but really you want a Combs Heart in that slot. I use a rare amulet with crit multi life, a bit of res, as well as some intelligence. The reason I use intelligence on my amulet and one of my rings is so I can use a conk effect and increase critical damage gems in my weapon. For rings, I use rings with life, res, elemental damage, physical damage, and some intelligence. For flasks, I use an instant life flask, I use a diamond flask, a Serious Promise, Lion's Roar, and an onslaught flask. The reason I don't use a quicksilver flask is because while her embrace as well as the onslaught flask is active, your movement speed is more than enough. For gems, I use Tectonic Slam, and with Tectonic Slam I use elemental damage with attacks, concentrated effect, melee physical damage, increased critical damage, and multi-strike. In my helm I use Hatred, Herald of Ash, Summon Lightning Golem, and Ancestral Protector. And my movement skill is Leap Slam, and with Leap Slam I use Fortify, faster attacks, and blood magic. And my defensive setup is cast when damage taken, level 1, Immortal Call, level 3, Assassin's Mark, level 5, and increased duration. And the skills that I picked out for my level 87 Juggernaut are these. They're pretty straightforward. I went with 1 arm damage, mostly life, some crit damage, more life, some intelligence nodes because I need int for this build, and more sword damage. I'm gonna fill out these when I get 2 more levels. Then I got more life, more sword damage, more life, some life leech, as well as some mana leech, some life, elemental damage, and then I got these sword nodes, more life, and then lastly I went with these for the extra mana leech. Preferably you don't want to use these 3 and put them elsewhere to better use for more damage, but right now I need these. For jewels, I went with 3 similar jewels. All of them gives crit multiplier with fire skills and maximum life. And for the Ascendancy, I went with Undeniable for the accuracy and attack speed as well as some damage. Then I went with Unflinching for the endurance charges. And then I went with Unstoppable so I can't be stunned and a bit of movement speed. And then lastly I went with Unbreakable for the life regen and damage reduction. For Pantheon, I will go with Soul of Solaris as Major God for the physical damage reduction as well as the reduced elemental damage taken. You can also take no extra damage from critical strikes if you've taken a critical strike recently, as well as 50% chance to avoid ailments from critical strike. You can also go with Soul of Lunaris or Soul of Arakali. The only one I wouldn't take is Soul of the Brine King, since you're already immune to stun from your Ascendancy. For Minor God I use Soul of Gruskul and sometimes Soul of Tukahama. You can use either one you want that fits the map mod or the boss that you're doing. For bandits, I would help Alira or kill them all. For leveling, and if this isn't your first character in the league, then you can start using Oni-Goroshi right from the start. Just be mindful of the degen, so remember that if you don't ignite, then her embrace won't be triggered. You start leveling with Molten Strike at level 1 and then combine it with Ancestral Call at level 4. At level 8 you add added fire damage and maim, and then continue with elemental damage with attacks and melee physical damage at level 18. You can switch from Molten Strike to Sunder at level 12, but then you can also switch Ancestral Call to Ruthless at the same time. You can continue leveling with Sunder for as long as you want, but at level 28 it's possible to switch over to Tectonic Slam. The main pros for this build is that an even build that can both clear maps pretty fast as well as kill bosses. It's fun to play with a new skill and the leveling process is very easy. With min-max gear you're gonna have amazing damage output and lab is extremely comfortable. The main cons for this build is that Elemental Reflect and Cannot Leech maps are very rough. And while the build is very strong, it's still not 100% single target or map clearing that some people prefer.